Standing again. Oh, no, it's still going.
It's gone, but gotta give it a second because people are starting to log on and all that stuff. No,
Will we be able to see each other ourselves? No.
probably not.
Okay.
But I know people can see us right now. See us, they can hear us, all that stuff. Give it a minute. 30 seconds. You're
Oh,
good.
there's a delay.
Yeah, there is. It's good. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and get started. And well, hello everyone. My name is Kurtis Reese, and I'm running for the Walnut Creek City Council. Welcome to the first Conversations with Kurtis. And today I have a special guest, probably the specialist of guests, Ms. Mrs. Marlena Reese.
Wow.
So I'm going to be honest with you. She told me not to tell you guys, but this is not her thing. She doesn't like being in front of the camera.
Well.
She prefers to hang out in the quiet corners and just sort of enjoy the uh, the environment and kind of watch things from afar. So this is really outside of her comfort zone. But I told her that everything I've been doing for the past month or so has been outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get reacquainted with being uncomfortable because I think that's where growth happens. That's where the good stuff comes. But anyway, here's what we wanted to do today. I've been going around talking about what I plan to do for Walnut Creek if the community so chooses to elect me. But I haven't spent an awful lot of time telling people who I am and giving people some insight into the family. And I think it's really important that we know who is uh, is running the show, who our leaders are. It's not, it's about more than just credentials. This is not a 9 to 5 job that we're talking about here. You're not hiring me to manage your custodial crew, and so it's not enough to know that I can just sweep the floors and keep things clean. It's about understanding who I am as a person, because I'll be making decisions that will impact your lives, decisions that will impact the lives of my family. So I think this is a good thing that we're doing here. I've told people many times that if I am not elected, I want it to be because you don't choose me, not because you don't know me. So this is the first step to resolving that. But anyway, a couple of things we're going to do. We're going to tell you a little bit about our story, who we are, where we're from. We're going to talk about why I'm doing this and how it's impacting the family, and then kind of go from there.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start. Again, my name is Kurtis Reese. I'm the youngest of 7 children. My oldest sibling is 17 years older than me. My youngest sibling is 9 years older than I am. So I had the disadvantages of being in a big family and the disadvantages of growing up alone, because when you're 10 years old, a 19-year-old doesn't really want to sit down and play Legos with you. So I spent a lot of time uh, on my own. But the one of the downsides, which actually turned out to be a key benefit, is that it was like having 8 parents. I had my parents, then I had my siblings that had already been through a lot of things, so they were watching me like a hawk. So I couldn't make a foul move. Everywhere I turned, there was a brother, there was a sister, there was my mom, there was my dad. But growing up in my neighborhood, that was a good thing, so it kept me on my toes. But anyway, I grew up in in that family, and was fortunate to be the first man in my family, the first male in my family, to go straight into college, and went to the university, got my bachelor's degree, and then I was fortunate enough to be the first male in my family to get a master's degree. And it's not because I was the special one in the family. It's because my family had laid down a lot of work in preparation for me to be successful. Growing up, the every time someone had an opportunity, they would tell me that I'm going to college, that I could not settle. I always had to strive for more. So it was a good upbringing. But when I got to college, that's when things really started to pick up for me because I met this lady. And I was a pretty good guy before I met her, but after I met her and convinced her to start hanging out with me and ultimately convinced her to be my girlfriend, I completely changed. I became a better person. She helped me study better. She helped me make better decisions. She helped me dress better. All kinds of things, just better, right? I know you're going to agree with that. You make me better. So I just remember seeing this woman on campus. I would see her day after day. Had no idea who she was, and one day, I guess she caught me looking at her, and she just said hi to me, which is something I probably should have said to her first. And she introduced herself, and we just talked a little bit, and then that was it. We didn't talk again for what, months?
For a long time.
For a long
Yeah.
time. And then we took a class together, and I forgot my homework one day. I went over to her and asked if she did the homework and if she could help me figure out what I needed to do so I could get a good grade. And she did, and then from there, we struck up a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was cool. So who are you?
Hello, my name is Marlena Reese, and I am the oldest of three. So I had the completely opposite, where I was the one always on my brother and my sister. My brother is 9 years younger than me, and my sister is 16 years younger than me. So there's Frank and Natalia. So we had the completely opposite upbringing, where I was the not the mother figure because my mom was there, of course, but I was the one always on my brother and my sister, and we moved around a lot. We were a military family, so we moved around a lot, and then we just settled down in Monterey and went off to college, and then met Kurtis, and of course you know, history before then, of course, but met Kurtis, and
None of that matters. None of that matters.
and here we are. This will be 20 years.
20, yeah.
Yeah, this will be 20 years that we're together, and it was met on San Diego State's campus with our friends and our family there. We grew up together.
Yeah. So I talk about the Hall family and how I've known them for 30 years and all of that, but it's really Scott's fault that I married Marlena. Scott Hall. I remember he looked at me one day and said, "Kurtis, you can never do any better." Ever. There's no way you'll ever do any better. So I don't know what you're waiting for. And I said, "Yeah, you're right." So I made the decision. But anyway, we've been November 11th, 2000. We got married, and November 11th, 1995 was our first date.
Yes.
So it makes it easy for me having the same date for our first date and our anniversary. And so yeah, it'll be 20 years in November. And we got married in San Diego, and we lived out there for about 10 years.
Yes, we did.
And then it was time to start our careers. So I found an opportunity here in the Bay Area, and we decided to move up here.
Yeah.
And we bounced around the Bay looking for a place to call home, looking for that place where we could. Well, actually, we were just looking for a place that was nice that we could just kind of settle in for a couple of years, But then we hit Walnut Creek and said, I think this might be the place. And we settled here in 2002.
Yes.
So for the past 18 years, this has been home. And we really have no plans to change
Don't
that.
know.
Yeah, we fell in love with this place. The people were just
Welcoming. Everybody was
welcoming,
super welcoming.
very warm. They took really good care of us,
Yes.
and we're just really happy here. And then we started a family, 2 kids.
Yes.
First of all was Mason, Mason Reese. He's now a senior at Los Lomas. He fancies himself a football player, and I'll admit he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And then there's Geneva, our daughter. She's a freshman at Los Lomas, and she's just pretty good at everything. She's a sweetheart. Our kids are humble. They're sweet. We expect greatness out of them. We don't allow them to settle, to relax and rest on their laurels. We demand work out of them, and we always commend them for the hard work, and not necessarily for the success, because
You don't always get success.
you don't always get success. But if you always work hard, it gives you a shot at success. But yeah, they're good kids, good kids. So yeah, probably some of your kids are friends with our kids. So yeah, that's how we came to be residents of Walnut Creek. And after 18 years, we feel like we're firmly established as community members.
Yes.
We attend St.
St.
John.
John Vianney Catholic Church. We
Yes.
volunteer in the communities. We, from Buena Vista Elementary, it started actually at Creative Play Center with the kids, and then Buena Vista Elementary, and then Walnut Creek Intermediate, and now Los Lomas. So we're well embedded in the Buena Vista families and Los Lomas families, and just all
Don't-
our kids' activities. We're
Don't forget the Larky Sharks. Larky Sharks. Every summer for 10 years.
yes.
Yeah, 10 years. That's where our kids have spent their summers swimming, and they're,
Growing, and
yeah.
great memories here in Walnut Creek. We have great memories here.
So in 18 years, I think our roots have gotten pretty deep here.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're invested and committed to this place.
Yes.
And we love it. But I think that leads us to the why. Why I'm running for city council. I told you that we're firmly embedded into Walnut Creek. We really care about this city. It's our home. We
Yes.
care about the people here. So when we see that the city is going through a tough time, um, we care about it. We're interested in knowing what we can do to help. Normally we try to make an impact in a small way, targeted way. If a friend is in need, if an individual stranger is in need, but right now Walnut Creek is going through a tough time. The COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on our businesses. The economic downturn has a lot of our community members really concerned about their financial future. There's a huge budget deficit, and there's social justice issues that have been enduring for at least the past year
Yes.
that have not been addressed in a fashion where there's confidence that resolution will come. And I think that I am qualified to jump in and help resolve some of these issues. I have personal experience with several of the social justice issues. I have years of experience managing global teams in IT, so I'm experienced in making decisions that both benefit an organization, but I take the time to ensure that the impact to the people the employees, the people that will be impacted by those decisions, are considered. And that's really just the way I work, the way I function. And I feel like I can apply those to the city. You know, pardon? No, go ahead, say it. See, normally my wife is in the background saying, "Don't forget what you said last night," or "Remember we talked about this." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right." So when I'm at my best is when I can listen to my wife reminding me of some of the good things. I think that's the case for most husbands. But honestly, what I believe the city needs is compassionate leadership. The city needs someone who will listen intently to what the community needs, and that's all perspectives, not just the perspectives that align completely with my beliefs, but I need it. City council needs to consider alternative ideas as well, ideas that don't really align with what they may normally believe, and then from there you coordinate and make decisions that benefit the city as a whole. And I'm capable of doing that. I'm humble enough to recognize if perhaps my ideas aren't the best for the moment, and I'm also confident enough to let you know if I know for a fact that my ideas are what's best for the moment. So I can balance that, and really that's where I want to come in and make an impact, reframe some of the conversations. Uh, in America, as, yeah, in America, politics is very contentious. It's polarizing. People are talking at each other. They're talking past each other. People get angry as soon as you really get into the conversation of the topics of politics because they're so ingrained in their beliefs, and I think that's problematic. We need to be able to listen to each other. So um, that's what I'm working on. Back to this. But anyway, babe, how do you feel about me doing this? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes, you are. How do we feel about it? When we decided, or when Kurtis made the decision to run for city council, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise at all. As I've told,
Can't do it? Okay. Well, let me step back. I'm talking about really high level ideas that I have for the city. But let's go back to the real reason why I'm doing all of this. This all started a year ago when Miles Hall, a young man I've known for his entire life, I mentioned Scott Hall, you know, back in 30 years ago, he was just my buddy. But today, or a year ago, when Miles Hall was shot and killed by the Walnut Creek police, he was not just my buddy. He is one of my best friends. The family is they are my Bay Area family. Every time we've been in
any milestones, any celebrations, any big events,
they've taken care of us. They're always there. I've never sat up and said I need somebody to be here, and they not already be in the room. I've seen they've gone way outside of their comfort zone for me, and they go way outside of their comfort zone for everyone that they know and love, and even for some people that they don't know. So in their time of need, I felt it was my duty to step up and try to assist. And I did what I thought was my part by speaking at city council.
yes,
And I made connections with the chief of police. I got to know some of the city staff. I created, well, along with the chief of police, I was the inaugural. I have the hardest time with that word.
inaugural.
Inaugural
Oh.
member of the Chiefs Advisory Board, where we interviewed dozens of people from all over the city and got together 16 capable, diverse individuals that could speak to issues in the city, give feedback, honest and frank feedback to the chief, and help facilitate some really deep conversations about scenarios that are going on in the world. It was it was very timely to have the advisory board put together. It started in February of this year, and then a month later, COVID hit, and then not long after that, uh, the George Floyd death happened, and that just brought extra attention to some of the social justice issues that I had already been trying to get on the table with the Walnut Creek Police, and because the advisory board was in place, we were able to have those conversations immediately, as opposed to having to create an opportunity to have those conversations. The opportunity was already there, you know, and that's the result of working within the system, taking advantage of a situation, and just asking and speaking to staff about things that I thought were important, and fortunately having it put in place already. Other things that I'm working on is the implicit bias listening meeting, um, with a group of talented and very capable community members and staff and city staff. And I also piloted the
The talk.
the talk. It's called the talk, where I had members of the police department join me in speaking to young men from Los Lomas High School. In the African American community, something that is pretty consistent is that we have something that we call the talk, where you talk
Children.
to your children about what to do if you're ever pulled over by the police, or you ever have the misfortune of interfacing with the police in any negative situation. And what I wanted to do was have that talk as frankly and as honestly as I would with my kids, with the police officers in the same room. And I wanted them to give immediate feedback to the things that I was saying. And I went in expecting it to be contentious, but it actually was. It went very smoothly. We found alignment on a lot of things. There was some agreement in things, and probably some soft disagreement that we can discuss later. But it was a beneficial situation for the kids. But circling back, um, all of this came from the tragic death of Miles Hall. That was the catalyst for me getting involved. Simply because I want to make sure that no other family ever has to deal with what the Hall family, the friends of Scott and Tawn Hall, and Alexis, and the community as a whole. I don't ever want them to have to deal with this again. And I think it's possible through some smart, coordinated efforts to put some things in place to ensure that this never happens again. But that's getting a little deep into the
Yeah.
to the sadness of things.
Yeah.
Really, what I wanted to do was try to keep this positive and upbeat. And that's really been my attitude.
Yeah.
I've had some personal social justice issues in my past, and I've been upset in the past and angry in the past, but all that it had done was just fester within me. And I wanted to take a different perspective this time and actually take action and try to keep a positive outlook, positive attitude, and try to find opportunity in the chaos. Um, and I feel like I'm doing that. Yeah.
You've always been real calm.
That's
Yeah.
that's my nature. That's yeah. Often, a lot of times people think that I'm not really affected by something, but I try to go deeper into my calmness. The more chaotic things come, because that's when you have to make smart decisions. And some of those smart decisions that I've made have not only helped me be successful and put me in better positions, but there are times when those smart decisions have saved my life. So I know what it is to be scared, and I know what it is to make smart decisions in the face of fear. So I feel like if I can do that, then in a business setting where I have an opportunity to research and think things through, I can do an amazing job. Yeah. You agree?
Yes.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you spending time with me. Um, I hadn't planned on spending an hour or anything going over who I am and talking about myself. It's really kind of a strange thing for me to spend so much time talking about myself. I don't think I've ever done this much self-talk in my entire life. But I did want to give you a glimpse into
Our family.
Not only who I am, but who my wife Marlena is, and talk about my kids a little bit. You know, they're my motivation. They're the reason I get up in the morning.
Yes.
The reason I work as hard as I do.
Yes.
I love them. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Well, you have any parting words?
Just thank you to all our friends, our family and friends, and friends. You know, we always say, "Hey, family," when we say goodbye to our friends here in Walnut Creek. But just know that we love all of you guys, and just think about you guys, and thank you for supporting Kurtis through all of this, and thank you for all the messages today. You guys know me. You guys know me very well. So thank you so much, and just we love you.
Yeah, we do. Well, okay. Before we go, just a little bit of business. If you want updates on what's going on with me, you're here at the Facebook page. Please take a look. We try to keep you updated on events and just things that are going on, not only in my life, but in my political life now. It's really weird to say that.
Yeah.
Also, you can always go to kurtisreese.com. That's the place where you can dig into some of the issues that I care about. You can click on the donation button, and yeah, this effort. So I'm really working hard to put myself in a position to again work hard for the next 4 years to do some good things for the city.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that takes money. So I appreciate the donations that I've received so
Yes.
far.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the donations that are yet to come, so that we can position ourselves to represent you. Okay, with that, we had enough, babe?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.